The 10-minute drill.
This is a big one.
Covered by Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
On 1010XL.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Hit it.
All right. Sports concepts and rationalizations coming your way right now. We call it the 10-minute drill. At the end of the drill, we'll kick around and give out beef what today?
We're going to hook one Lucky Guggen up
with
dinner for two. Go grub on us on some Sonny's barbecue. You're welcome.
You're welcome, Guggens. I put out our poll question. I mentioned it in downtime. I think Saturday has to be the most important day of the training camp for the Jags if they are truly treating it as a preseason game 3/4. And I wonder, Jeff Prosser, in the drill poll question of the day presented by Rich Safety Floors Trusted Personal Protection Equipment Provider, if you could attend that Jags scrimmage Saturday, and you can, what one thing would you want to see? Minshew passing in the pocket, the rookies, Hendu and Chason, the new linebacking core, or Gruden's, quote, offensive attack?
I think the answer is going to be, because your audience seems to be, like, pretty sports savvy. You're not getting, like, grandma's answers. I want to see Minshew. I think it's the rookies.
You outthought yourself today for the first time in a while.
I've been really hot lately.
Very hot. Probably not DiMaggio-like, but probably like a 25 guessing streak in a row has come to a close
So
today.
they got it wrong this time.
Gruden's offensive attack overwhelmingly, 55%.
I hate to be just disappoint everyone, but it won't look any different than the 18 other coordinators' offensive attacks we've had.
I noticed
that's so silly. They all run the same stuff, gang.
I noticed this last night on Twitter as I was melting down watching a baseball game. I might have tweeted this, and I sort of awakened Jaguar fan everywhere. Just sell the team, fire the GM, and start all over.
Oh, no.
And people are like,
they thought you were talking about
Jags?
the Jags.
I go, no, Mets.
But
sometimes fitting on a Monday morning where I might want to tweet that. But no, I was talking about the Mets there last night. But anyway, Gruden's offensive attack is what people really want to see. And listen, it will be interesting to see how at least effective it can be. I do think Jay Gruden is smart enough to take, and from what I can see at camp, to take advantage of what Minshew does well, and and what he doesn't do well. And what I'm talking about is like misdirection, bootleg, out of the pocket, crossing routes, those kinds of things that can be more effective for this quarterback than perhaps other ones.
Yeah.
So,
to be honest with you, I mean, we're hearing all this about the Jay Gruden's offense is boring, gang. It's a quick throw, West Coast, get the ball out.
Yes.
It's not going to be anything sexy or scintillating or, and now, like the biggest myth in all of sports is that these teams don't run the same stuff, man.
Right.
They may have a little packages here and there, but
right.
For the most part, they all run the same stuff. There's no offensive coordinator right now in the NFL who's outsmarting the defense.
I saw a college football scenario in a prediction I want to pass through you because I liked it because it had Florida in the, quote, Final Four against Clemson, okay? And so this is what they came up with. So the Gators, 10 games, SEC season, all SEC. They beat LSU, and they finally beat Georgia.
And they don't go to the playoff.
And no, they do.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah, so they lose. Can
I interrupt you real quick?
Uh-huh.
How did this start again? I'm sorry.
Oh,
what is this
I
from?
said I wanted to run this past you because it had Florida going to the Final Four.
All right, sorry.
And taking on Clemson in the Final Four.
Wow, that won't go well, by the way.
No, they lose that game, but nonetheless, if the Gators made it to the Final Four,
that is a tremendous. You'd be happy.
Yes.
Happy wouldn't begin to describe it. Now, unless you lose 31-0, then I would.
The Gators go 9-1, but have beaten Georgia,
so they get into the championship game. There is a championship game, right?
However, okay, wait a minute. Now maybe I'm getting this wrong. Gosh dang it! No, the Gators go 9-1. But lose to Georgia. Georgia loses to Bama.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia goes to the SEC championship game, loses again to Bama, so Florida gets into the Final Four.
I saw Jerry Palms worked out just like that the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Florida went 9-1, but then they lost to Bama, and Georgia went to the as a 4 seed and played Clemson.
Right.
So there seems to be a lot of that.
That's why, again, though, that Georgia-Florida game will have some serious clout.
Well, we've got 2 examples here.
If everything
we
goes.
have 2 examples of the best play is to lose that game.
Right.
Both of those scenarios, it was the loser of the Florida-Georgia game who didn't have to go to Atlanta, and in Georgia's case, it would be a death blow for Georgia, Hick, because they would have lost to Bama twice. And if Bama's in the Final Four, you can't give Georgia a third crack at them.
Right. Correct.
So it's a death blow for Georgia if they win the East and then don't beat Bama. And you know what? It works for me. I'm all about the best teams playing. I don't care if they got to play 5 times this year. But there will be a large outcry. Well, it would be bigger if Pac-12 and Big Ten were around. But there'll be a pretty large outcry if Georgia and Bama have another 2 meetings this year.
There are some COVID outbreaks in college football going on. I think NC State has pushed its opener back a couple weeks, and I think I read that LSU had their offensive line. Like sometimes when this happens, it's the position
Makes
groups,
sense.
which, by the way, is very familiar to me. I think I read an article, and I think you were off, Pross. Do you remember when I read that article by that doctor who suggested that the actual art of playing football wasn't as dangerous, but it was the interaction with your teammates in the meeting rooms and those kind of things that would be more.
Because you're sitting in close proximity for like.
And like huddles,
long periods, just breathing in the same air.
Right. So being in the position group meetings would be more. And I think that is what occurred at LSU is like all the offensive linemen are now out. And then I also read this in terms of, and this is pretty good pre-planning. I never would have thought of this. Like the Gators are getting 4 guys ready to play center.
Well, good,
because you need
smart.
If 2 guys get it. You got who you need someone to snap the ball. You don't want someone to go in there who's never snapped a football in a pressure-packed situation. So I think that was smart as well. I read that.
A question you might consider to be a rhetorical question, but I'm dead serious, and that is the Big Ten run by a class of kindergartners?
No, it's not.
They don't seem very smart to me, Dan. What
happened?
Well, now they are saying, you ready for this one? Big Ten mulling winter football season in domed stadiums. Because all those Big Ten teams have domes on. Oh, wait, none of them do. My bad. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to take a team from Iowa and a team from Maryland and have them travel to Indy to play in a dome. That'll cure everything.
I'm not smart enough to read this, but it seems to me that and I may be wrong here, so please, but I read this yesterday that they're debunking the myocarditis.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they're debunking the myocarditis.
Well, I don't know if it should be debunked, but man, it sure was accepted way too soon.
Not. In other words, if you
wasn't the corona that gave it to them.
Well, I don't know exactly, but they were talking about because they were getting into the chemicals and all. So I was like, I can't make hide nor hair of this. I don't know what it means, but they're trying to basically say that, listen, these viruses, like if you get strep, you can get myocarditis.
Correct.
If you get
that was kind of my point when we talked
flu,
about that.
If you get but I don't know exactly the reason behind it. But I did see some doctors talking about it. So I mean, it is what it is at this point. But you have leading cardiologists from Duke who are saying it's okay to play football and for the ACC or the SEC, and you also have doctors saying I wouldn't do it for the Big Ten.
Well, it's kind of what I've said all along. If you're on campus and you're around other young people, you are in a very, very there's hardly any vulnerability to you long term to this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would imagine that the stories that started this little talking point about LSU's offensive line and NC State's players, I would imagine, just as every other program, at least to my knowledge, there's not been one follow-up on something bad having happened to the now hundreds of players that have contracted the coronavirus at one point. So we'll see.
The Buffalo Bills
never heard of them.
Are playing hardball
with?
And these are NFL teams. I think this is silly, but nonetheless, it is what it is, and it seems to be part of the NFL. they've benched their own team reporter for the remainder of training camp.
Oh, no. What did he do?
He violated the team's media policy.
He actually gave some info to the fans.
Yeah.
The Jags don't let us get in. You're not allowed to say where people line up or if they're first or second string.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to say, what a great grab on a terrific throw today at Jags camp.
So the new media policy was distributed August 16th. They prohibited reporting on game strategy, snap
Same
counts,
as here.
and unit participation. And the reporter supposedly discussed many of those items during his radio show with Steve Tasker. Steve, what does it mean to go on 2 instead of on 1?
The Bills seem to be running elephant jumbo every time on 3rd and 1. Do you think they will in the opener?
The big defensive tackle trots out there as a fullback, Steve.
Steve, a really interesting trick play today. They brought 2 quarterbacks in, put them at receiver, and threw the ball 3 times after practice on the down low. Coach said they'd run that in the opener.
So I guess you can't do that. So
Yeah.
they took down the segments from the team's radio partner's website.
So how long is he banished for?
Well, Brown has been absent from the practice ever since. Hasn't tweeted in a week.
Does he work for the
He
team?
works for the team.
So this would be
And
like
has
Osh. This would be like Osh getting suspended.
and has been employed with the organization since 2006.
Well, you can't. The guy's got to be dumb. His senses had to be dumbed down by now if he's been following the Bills since 06. It's not been a fun journey.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the Bills, by the way, could be really good this year. If Josh Allen can be the quarterback that they think, not that you think, the Buffalo Bills have a lot of talent in place.
He's about as polarizing a player as there is in the league right now, because the Bills are positioned to take that step and be good. And so it's all really being asked about Josh Allen. And it reminds me a lot of asking the same questions about Blake Bortles. So, Blake Bortles' numbers his first 3 years were better than Josh Allen's are.
Yeah.
That it's fair to point out.
I would take Josh Allen.
I know you would.
Sight unseen
And that's fine.
over Blake
and,
Bortles.
and that's absolutely fine. But the reality is that Blake Bortles was every bit as efficient and statistically good as
maybe. I don't know.
Well, pull up Josh Allen. Pull him up. Let's go. Truth test this bumper right now.
It's hard for me to.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I'm
not asking you.
Down
you
here,
think
we
he's
should
better.
make sure we refer to him as the other Josh Allen.
That's correct. Our Josh. And by the way,
apologize.
I'd have. Let me ask. Would you rather have the Jags Josh Allen or the Bills Josh Allen right now?
I love our Josh Allen.
We also have a quarterback.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
I know the Bills went 10-6 last year, and I know that Josh Allen is 15-12 as a starter in his first 27 games. What's Blake?
I want his.
Does that not count?
Physical abilities. No, it doesn't count.
Oh.
Yeah, not at all.
Why not?
Well, because football's 22-man game, and
Okay.
I got to keep it as representative as I can.
All right.
I missed, Blake went to a title game. I haven't seen Josh Allen win a playoff game, so
No.
we won't count that either.
Mm-mm.
What did Blake's first year? What do you got?
You must really. You're now dying on the hill for Balaki.
No, I'm not.
Who we have annihilated.
Certainly, you understood our conversation. I'm not going anywhere.
I know I have a
I'm
hard-
saying Josh Allen and the Bills' position right now are reminiscent of Blake Bortles and the Jags' position going into 18.
Okay.
And I'll stand by that. And
I think the Bills
What
are-
is Josh Allen's career percentage, completion percentage?
Well, he went 52.8 year one and 58.8 year two, so he went up 6%.
All right.
So he's, his first 2
Blake,
years.
same thing. 58.9, 58.6, 58.9, 60.3.
Okay, so this is a
Total of 59.3.
So this will be an interesting year if Josh Allen can go up to 62 or 63. He threw for 3,089 yards. Now, I know Blake's second year, he was junkyard king, so.
Well, but as far as the production, and because the team was always on the wrong end of the scoreboard, he did that his whole career until they got good.
Yeah.
His worst year was 18 when they actually had a team that he didn't have to, the plan wasn't to get 21 fourth-quarter points only lose by 10.
He actually was so good that
What's
month of
Josh
September
Allen's-
in 18.
Blake threw
Maybe
his,
the best he ever was the first month of September in 18.
I guess all I'm saying is, Blake Bortles' second year, he had 35 touchdowns, 18 picks.
Yeah, 20 and 9.
And an 88.2 rating. So,
yeah.
85.3.
85.3.
Right. So they're closer. He's closer to Blake Bortles than he is Carson Wentz, I guess is my point.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to get this. The closer the season gets, and I don't know, maybe it's just like rote memory, but all this completely underselling and dismissing the Patriots, I just have a feeling it's going to be a big mistake. And I think Josh McDaniels is going to put together some Cam Newton game plan.
If Cam's healthy.
Yeah, and they're going to run him, dude.
Yeah.
They're not going to make him be Tom Brady. Cam will probably have the most rushing touchdowns he's had in a long time because they will be hell-bent and determined to do something to show you how clever they are.
Yeah.
And with Cam Newton healthy, they're going to have that a vehicle to do that.
I'm just looking at the Bills roster minus Josh Allen, and Singletary was really good last year. TJ Yeldon's still on that team, is he?
Yeah, he's playing in the playoffs.
Stephon Diggs, Beasley, and John Brown is a nice.
He's got good weapons.
Dawson Knox at tight end.
He's got a good offensive
and
line.
And they got a veteran offensive line, and then their defense is terrific.
There's
Ed
no
Oliver,
reason
Jerry
for him to be a
Hughes.
60% passer this year. None.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you're going to be because look, the NFL today, Dan, you don't throw 59%. They throw 70, the good ones. 65, 68. No one's throwing 60, 58, 59. No one who's any good. And you know, at the end of the day too, I was thinking in my mind yesterday, I was going through like mentally making a checklist of the best, because there's this push right now towards the run pass combo quarterback.
I had suggested this morning, but I'll pass this along. This from the rap sheet as NBA hit pause to call attention to racial injustice and police brutality. NFL players spent last night pondering how to respond. One scrimmage has been canceled. Practices will be moved back or called off, and conversations are ongoing, as I suspected something will occur today.
I would suggest the Jags, for the sake of their NFL season, should probably get in as much practice as they can.
Maybe they could take advantage.
If they care about the football part of their existence, they maybe take advantage of the Texans and Colts taking a day off and, I don't know, outwork them for a day.
Yeah. As we get ready to head to break, I will just pass this along again in my frustration level on a personal note as you are in your joyous level. By the way, I flipped over to the Braves game. I brought them good karma. Well, Chipper actually did. He basically called Freddie Freeman's home run.
Yeah,
he goes, he can handle this pitcher a lot better than Tanaka's inside sliders, and when Freddie's on, he's going the other way. Crack! Oh, there it goes.
Two-run homer, Braves sweep the Yankees.
In his 177 career starts, Jacob deGrom has allowed one or no runs 83 times.
Half the time.
He also has 32 no decisions.
What? Now, he actually got hit a little bit yesterday, didn't he?
Oh, he gave up 2 hits and 1 run and struck out 14 in 7 innings.
Yeah. Why do they take him out, Dan?
100-plus pitches.
Is that what it was?
Because our bullpen's so effective.
I said this yesterday. I'm not embellishing. Yesterday was the most fulfilling 7 hours of Braves baseball that I've watched since 1991.
Look at you.
I mean it. Because I'll tell you why. The Braves swept a doubleheader from a team they never beat, and okay, whatever. It is what it is. We're game 30. But the Braves swept a doubleheader, Dan, solely and exclusively because of their starting pitching.
Yeah.
And you cannot have a better debut than Ian Anderson had yesterday. He went 6 innings, gave up 1 hit and 1 run, and struck out 7. He had command and control of 3 pitches, and now we have a 2-man pitching staff, it appears, not the 1-man. And by the way, the 1-man, Max Fried, another 1-run outing, his 5th win. His ERA is 1.3, dude. So things are looking up for the Braves, who that game 1 was just a celebration of what the Braves hope to become. I mean, you had Acuna hitting a 473-foot homer. You had Swanson hitting a 2-run homer. And you had Ian Anderson, dealing filthily on the mound. So
I'm getting nauseous.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Let's do caller number 3 right now, Beef, 641-1010. I'm suffering from Braves flu right now. I'll have to ask Doc Murphy about it when we come back and get the latest on that. My stomach's queasy.
Oh, no.
Beef, tell them what they're going to win if you call it 641-1010 right now. It's caller number 3.
Call number 3 right now, 641-1010. Going to go home with dinner for 2 at Sonny's Barbecue on us. Enjoy.